Let's go to this conversation now. The fire that tore through parts of Charlotte Maxeke Academic Hospital may have been deliberately caused. Maverick Citizen managed to get a copy of the SAPS forensic report that shows details of what may have happened at the hospital in April last year. It's been 18 months and the hospital is still not fully functional. Let's speak to Maverick Citizen editor Mark Heywood. Mark, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. I mean, when one reads the article that you've penned and sees what this report says, it's very disturbing. Does it say who started the fire?
Good afternoon. Yes, it is disturbing. It doesn't say who started the fire. It does, however, make it very clear that the finding of the forensic investigator is that the fire was not accidental and that there were a number of suspicious circumstances that warranted him recommending to the police further investigation and warranted a finding of arson, that the fire was deliberately caused. And this was said in an affidavit by a police captain from their forensic unit in Pretoria in late August 2021, so almost a year ago. This was the finding of the police.
And when really one combs through that article as well, I mean, you see the evidence that has been given by a staff member working in the storeroom, which has discrepancies. And one of the things that he does is he concludes that based on inconsistent fire information received during the interviews, the misdirection of the origin of the fire, the lack of a legitimate ignition source within Area A, and the fact that the audits in the storage facility were ongoing, it is thus imperative for the investigating officer to investigate this matter further. And Captain, Ramsunda says, really that there may have been more, as you say here, that meets the eye. It sounds like there may have been a cover-up.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the police have a duty now to account to the nation and to account to people in Gauteng in particular, because that was the finding of Captain Ramsunda, 27th of August 2021. If we are to believe that there was not a cover-up, they must tell us what they have done since then. They must tell us what leads they followed up, whether they have suspects, and when they will make arrests, or why they would not make arrests. Because, as you just quoted, and what you just read out is from the report, there were lines of inquiry, there were discrepancies, suspicions that Captain Ramsunda stated in his report. So it was not as if the police had to start from nowhere. They were given pointers as to where to look.
And it boggles the mind then as to why have we not heard even updates right now, because the hospital in itself is still not fully functional. There's been quite a lot of damage even going, beyond millions. But at the same time, the personnel, we've seen doctors not even, leaving that particular hospital. So it boggles the mind as to why we still don't have regular updates on this.
Well, I think so too. I mean, this report was only obtained through a promotion of access to information application made by a group called the Progressive Health Forum, which is made up of doctors and activists. But it does seem that the Department of Health itself and the Premier has just, although they keep saying that this is a priority, that they're going to report, that they're going to account, but they've actually just, they've taken their eyes off the ball completely. Because when I asked the Premier's office to comment on this report on Friday, the immediate response was to say that we have not seen this report. The Gauteng Health Department said it has not seen this report. I just can't understand how that can be the case, given how devastating this fire was and how it has continued to plague and disrupt healthcare services in this province and cause a loss of life. You would think that it would be priority, if not number one, perhaps amongst the top 10 priorities of this province, to make sure that the reasons are discovered and that the people who are responsible are brought to justice.
And it happens at a time when we are also seeing damning allegations emerging from the Tembisa hospital. Now this, and then not so long ago, we saw a doctor writing an open letter from Rahima Musa Mother and Child Hospital. We then saw concerns about, some food shortage at Baragwanath Hospital. All of these do not paint the department in glory.
No, all I can do is agree with you. I mean, it's not just it doesn't paint it in glory, it paints a department that is very dirty, very corrupted, very incompetent, very incapable of oversight, very incapable of managing its multi-billion rand resources. And all of this is bad for your and my right of access to healthcare services and our rights to life, ultimately.
Has the National Health Department said anything? Because we saw them, getting involved with this Charlotte Maxeke matter.
They have not said anything at all. The presidency hasn't said anything. The National Health Department has not said anything. They've been silent as well.
All right, Mark, let's leave it there with you for now. But thank you so much for your time. I mean, really a startling report, this. And one wonders if officials say that they haven't seen it, then what has been at the heart of the investigations then at the Charlotte Maxeke Academic Hospital? And that was Mark Heywood, the Maverick Citizen editor. Now, Francis, I mean, one thinks about this particular story, and you can only just imagine what is going on in our hospitals.
Yeah, like you say, it adds to those reports about Tembisa, and the revelations just keep coming over what was being bought, procurement irregularities, and then all the issues around general health care, around women sleeping on floors when they're pregnant. So this is, like Mark Heywood says, about the right to life and healthcare.
And you see reports suggesting plastic buckets are being bought, skinny jeans may have been bought, leather couches, and then you move to Rahima Musa Mother and Child Hospital, where doctors are even saying we don't even have the necessary equipment sometimes to do what we need to do. Toilets sometimes don't have doors, and then you move to Baragwanath Hospital, where you then get told that there was a shortage of food, but then they come and say no, there was a shortage of bread, but it was sorted out. And then you see what's happening with Charlotte Maxeke, and this is something that is really concerning.
No, it's just extraordinary. By the way, also coming up, we'll talk about one of the issues that, of course, affects the hospitals, affects all of us, not only the electricity price, but fuel prices as well.